Chapter 4088, Dragon King. The energy in this universe is indeed unique. Among the 5 elements, there is another unique energy. This energy has a deathly stillness and a vitality. How strange. Qilin Bull looked around as he spoke to Wang Xian. Indeed. Wang Xian nodded. Their strength had reached the creation realm of Sky Yuan. Although they were suppressed, their senses and reflexes were not. What was suppressed was their pure strength. Ordinary creation realm experts were still no match for Wang Xian and the rest. Let's go and understand the situation in this universe, said Wang Xian. He looked towards the depths of this universe. With a swift move, he flew over immediately. Qilin Bull followed immediately. The two of them flew in the same direction. Their speed was much slower due to the suppression of their strength. Based on the vast area of a universe, it would take at least tens of millions of years to explore the entire universe. However, generally speaking, the birth of a creation realm treasure would be at the center of the universe. Therefore they were prepared to explore the center. Buzz buzz. Wang Xian and the rest flew. 200 years passed quickly. The place near the chaos belonged to the edge of the universe. Generally no living creatures lived there. It was also the place where the energy was the thinnest. After flying for 200 years, Wang Xian suddenly sensed something. Hold on. There seems to be something below. Wang Xian said to Qilin Bull with a cautious look on his face. Now that a creation realm treasure had appeared in this universe, the creation realm experts in this universe already knew of the arrival of creation realm experts from other universes. They would definitely be wary of the group of invaders. They might even want to kill them. Wang Xian and the rest had to be careful. Boss, are there any living creatures around? Qilin Bull squinted his eyes. His single eye glowed as he looked below. His eyes were glowing with white light. Wang Xian looked down and sized up the area carefully. When he landed on a spot, he flew over immediately. Qilin Bull also discovered something. He moved and flew over quickly. GGGG. Suddenly ear-piercing cries came from the ground below. Soon after, Wang Xian and the rest saw the entire ground shaking. When Wang Xian saw this, he waved his arm. An energy palm formed instantly and grabbed at the ground below. GGG. GGG. The ear-piercing shriek rang out again. However, at this moment Wang Xian grabbed a piece of land with his huge palm. He moved his palm and the soil in his palm disappeared, revealing the creature inside. When he saw the creature inside, his face revealed a startled expression. This is? The Qilin Bull was also looking at these living beings in astonishment. They could no longer be called living beings but rather eyeballs. That's right, eyeballs. An eyeball with a row of sharp teeth. They were similar to human eyes, black and white. The only difference was that there were more blood-red stripes on it. There was a special energy on the eyeball. This should be the unique energy of this universe. What is this? Qilin Bull couldn't help but ask. Let me check. Wang Xian shook his head. With a flick of his palm, he unleashed the soul-assimilating force immediately. A wave of energy directly entered the body of a special creature with an eyeball. However, the outcome that shocked Wang Xian happened. When Wang Xian's soul-assimilating force entered the body of the creature with an eyeball, he couldn't find any information. He continued to unleash the soul-assimilating force on the other eyeball, but it still didn't work. What's going on? Why isn't the soul-assimilating force working? Living beings must have a soul. Without a soul, how could they have intelligence? Why don't these living creatures with eyes have souls? Could it be related to the special energy of this world? Wang Xian murmured. He frowned slightly and took a closer look. The eyes of the special creatures that he had captured were clearly filled with fear. Clearly, they possessed intelligence. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he crushed one of the creatures. After killing it, Wang Xian took a look inside the creature with an eyeball the size of a human head. When he saw the situation inside, he revealed a doubtful look. The interior of this creature was rotten flesh. In Wang Xian's eyes, it was the rotten flesh of a long-dead creature. This creature is really strange. It's similar to the zombies in sci-fi movies on Earth. Wang Xian murmured. Boss, this creature is very special. I can sense that there is an energy connection between them. In addition, if they pretend to be dead, they are completely dead. They are not living creatures at all. It is very special. No wonder I didn't sense them at the beginning. At this time, Qilin Bull spoke. Qilin Bull, you can sense that there's an energy connection between these creatures? Wang Xian looked at Qilin Bull and asked. Boss, I can see with my eyes. My pupils can activate a special state. In this state, all types of energy appear white. There's an energy connection between them. I can't sense that connection but I can see it. It should be the usage of this universe's special energy. Qilin Bull answered. Wang Xian nodded slightly upon hearing it. Suddenly he had an idea and frowned again. We should have been exposed. We have to leave this place as soon as possible. Wang Xian said hurriedly. This kind of special energy and connection reminded him of the power of faith in the faith universe. These special creatures had an energy connection. In that case, the situation here might have been known by the experts of this universe. In addition, these special creatures should have been intentionally placed here by an expert to monitor them. In fact, Wang Xian had a conjecture. Perhaps these special eyes were not a complete living creature. Instead, they were some means of the experts of this universe. Huh. Qilin Bull narrowed his eyes when he heard it. When he looked around cautiously, his expression changed. Boss, there's still this kind of energy coming our way. He said hurriedly. Let's go. Hide as much as we can and leave this place. Wang Xian said hurriedly without any hesitation. His body moved and he quickly flew into the distance. Qilin Bull followed closely behind. Before they could fly far, tens of thousands of crow-like creatures flew over from the distant sky. In the middle of this group of crows, there was a human-like figure. Chapter 4089, that's the 34th Ha. In the sky above the Six Paths universe, a figure stood tall in the sky. Around him were tens of thousands of crow-like creatures. These crows had ghastly pale pupils and had a special aura. He looked in the direction where Wang Xian and Qilin Bull had left, his eyes filled with coldness. Coveting the treasure of our Six Paths universe? You're looking down on our Six Paths universe. Hee, I'd like to see what kind of tricks you can pull off. He sneered, and his body slowly dissipated, turning into rotting flesh. The surrounding crows also disappeared as if they had been incinerated. Boss, our arrival should have been discovered. Wang Xian and Qilin Bull flew quickly into the distance. Qilin Bull scanned the back and said, This is the Six Paths universe after all. The Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts here will definitely be prepared. In their territory will be easily discovered. But it seems like they didn't chase after us. Wang Xian nodded. There should be many Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts in this universe. Qilin Bull pondered for a moment and said. Wang Xian was also enlightened. The universe was located in the chaotic space. Some Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts roamed the chaotic space in search of treasures. Over time, they would also encounter Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts from other universes. When the two met, they might trade or something. This might allow many Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts to keep in contact with each other for easier trading. There should be a trading area somewhere in the chaotic space. And the news of the Heavenly Yuan creation realm treasure in the Six Paths universe should have spread from this area. The number of Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts who came to the Six Paths universe was definitely no less than a few dozen. After all, there were already 8 or 9 of them in the Nine Origins universe. The number of other universes would not be small either. It was a terrifying thing for dozens of Heavenly Yuan creation realm experts to enter a universe. Let's see if we can find the city or country of this universe civilization. Wang Xian said as he flew in a particular direction with greater caution. What they needed to do now was to find the city of this universe civilization and get some information. Otherwise, flying aimlessly in search of the Heavenly Yuan creation realm treasure would be like searching for a needle in the ocean. Boss, there seems to be a city up ahead. 500 years later, the Qilin Bull looked ahead and suddenly said. After the Unicorn Bull opened its single eye, its vision was much better than Wang Xian's. Every divine essence creation realm expert had their own unique and powerful abilities. As long as we can find the life forms of this space civilization, we will be able to find out more about this universe. Wang Xian looked in the direction that the Unicorn Bull was pointing at and increased his speed. This universe has the 5 elements, so there must be living beings that cultivate the 5 elements. This kind of creature should be different from the one he encountered not long ago. It should be a normal living creature. As they continued flying forward, a city that was brimming with vitality appeared before their eyes. This was a city engulfed in flames, and a human lived in the city. There were also some other humanoid creatures. For example, fireman, lava giant, and so on. The creatures in this city are all weaklings. Imitate the creatures here and let's go in. As Wang Xian spoke, he came to the sky above the city. His entire body was covered in flames, and his appearance was exactly the same as the creatures here. He quietly entered the city. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings. With a thought, he unleashed the soul assimilation force. In an instant, waves of information were transmitted into his mind. Wang Xian's soul assimilation force could be used against these weak living beings without making a sound. Moreover, it would not harm these living beings. As the waves of information entered his mind, his eyes flickered. Fire plane, water plane, earth plane, Ajin mountain range, death basin. Wang Xian mumbled as he looked through the information. These 6 places were the most important information that Wang Xian had obtained. And these 6 places were also the core of the 6 paths universe. Fire plane was a place with the fire element. Water plane was a place with the water element. As for the last place, death basin, it was a place with the undead element in the 6 paths universe. The 6th element of this universe was known as the undead element. The undead were completely different from skeletons. The undead were living beings that had truly died and were summoned. After being summoned, they possessed spiritual intelligence. However, they did not have any vitality. Instead, they relied on the energy of the undead element to survive. The undead knew no fatigue or pain. The strength that they possessed before they died would be the same strength that they possessed after being summoned. This was a very special energy. Summoning, resurrection, undead living beings, what's up with those eyeballs? What about the undead experts' usage of the undead energy? The living beings in this city were too weak. There was a lot of information that they did not know. Wang Xian could only make some guesses. In addition, under normal circumstances, Tianyuan creation treasures would be born in places with rich energy. The 6 treasure lands in the 6 paths universe had the highest possibility of producing Tianyuan creation treasures. Wang Xian pondered. Qilin Bull, let's go. Let's continue heading towards the center. Wang Xian said to Qilin Bull. They acted as the living beings of this universe and headed towards the center. Covered in flames, they arrived at another city after flying for a few years. In this city, Wang Xian obtained more information. For example, other situations in this universe. The forces in the 6 paths universe were divided by tribes. The powerful tribes were all located in these 6 places. In the 6 paths universe there were 3 top tribes. Countless experts and living beings served these 3 top tribes. And these 3 top tribes were tribes that had divine origin creation realm experts. As they ventured deeper, Wang Xian obtained more and more information as time passed. Moreover, their acting as the living beings of this universe became more and more realistic. Without being able to sense their strength, even Tianyuan creation realm experts would not be able to distinguish Wang Xian and the rest. As time passed, Wang Xian and the rest got closer to the center of the 6 paths universe. They were also getting closer to the 6 treasure lands. And the tribes and cities that they encountered were also getting bigger. The entire universe was slightly peaceful. Occasionally one could see battles between tribes. The overall strength of the living beings in this universe was much weaker than the 9-source universe. The number of Universe Lord Realm experts was much lesser than the Sword and Magic universe. However, the overall strength was slightly stronger than the Sword and Magic universe. Chapter 4090, Boss, which Holy Land are we going to first? The Holy Land was what the disciples of the 6 paths universe called the Fire Wasteland, the Golden Mountain Range, and the Grassland. The Holy Land was occupied by various large tribes. There were still elemental beasts active in a few of the sacred grounds. Elemental beasts were creatures without intelligence. They came in all shapes and sizes and possessed all sorts of powerful attributes. To the living beings and experts of the 6 paths universe, killing elemental beasts would greatly increase their strength. However, in the Holy Land the elemental beasts had not gone extinct. Instead, many elemental beasts occupied a territory. This was because one of the Heaven Origin Creation Stage experts in the 6 paths universe was an elemental beast. The elemental beast that had broken through to the creation state had gained intelligence. Of course, he didn't want the intelligent beings in the 6 paths universe to annihilate his race. Even the other 2 Heaven Essence Creation Stage experts gave orders that disciples at the peak of the Universe Ruler Realm were forbidden from hunting elemental beasts. This also resulted in many places in the 6 Great Holy Lands becoming a paradise for elemental beasts. In the 6 paths universe, there are 3 Heaven Origin Chi practitioners. They are of the metal element, earth element, and death element respectively. Generally speaking, the 6 paths universe can give birth to Heaven Origin Chi practitioners of 6 elements and Heaven Origin treasures of 6 elements. However, whether or not a Heavenly Origin fortune treasure can be born is also related to the energy within the universe. I think the other 3 attributes are more likely. Let's go to the fire plains first and check out the holy lands of fire, water, and earth. Wang Xian analyzed. The Qilin Bull nodded and looked to the right. Boss, the fire plane is on the right. And let's go. We'll go to the fire plains first. Wang Xian nodded his head. After a long time of flying, They arrived at the deepest part of the Six Paths universe. They were not too far away from the fire plains. Wang Xian and Qilin Bull continued flying. Before long, a fiery plain appeared in their sight. The fire plains, the true fire plains. The fire started a prairie fire. Within the fire plains, wisps of flames rose from the ground. Each wisp of flame was different in size. The huge flames soared into the sky, containing a terrifying might as it swayed in the air. The small flame was no more than half a meter tall. It created a strange and magnificent scene in front of them. Wang Xian and the rest sized up this unique space and entered it immediately. Just a little bit. This is the only way. As Wang Xian spoke, he turned to Qilin Bull and said, "Qilin Bull, let's sense one area each. Be careful and don't get discovered." "Yes, boss." The Qilin Bull nodded. Wang Xian and Qilin Bull began to separate. Both of them could sense each other's aura and would not lose each other. This way the two of them would be able to speed up their search. It was very difficult to find an unknown treasure in an unfamiliar universe. It could even be said that it was like looking for a needle in a haystack. However, the temptation of a heavenly yuan fortune treasure was too great. Even if they had to waste hundreds of millions of years, they would still be willing. Wang Xian and the rest shared the same thought. The fire plains was a world of flames, a world of fire attribute. Wang Xian moved forward bit by bit as he sensed his surroundings. A few months later, some living beings from the Six Paths universe appeared around. The disciples of the clans in the inner regions of the fire plains. These experts and disciples seemed to be searching for something as well, searching bit by bit. The strongest, third-order universe Lord Realm. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the few thousand experts and disciples as he mumbled to himself. He moved and immediately walked over. The soul assimilation power began to be unleashed silently. Soon, information was transmitted into his mind. Earth Fire Tribe. Wang Xian mumbled. Earth Fire Tribe was the name of these few thousand experts and disciples. The leader of the tribe had ordered them to search for items that contained mystical energy and pressure. In fact, they did not know what they were looking for. They only relied on a little information to search blindly. It seems like the experts in the Six Paths universe do not know about the heavenly yuan fortune treasure either. Wang Xian thought to himself. In this case, their chances of finding it would be higher. After Wang Xian obtained some useful information, he continued to move forward. However, in the fire plains, Wang Xian and the rest did not find any information about the heavenly yuan fortune treasure, apart from the flames, the occasional experts and disciples from the Six Paths universe, and some elemental beasts. Fortunately, Wang Xian was mentally prepared and did not lose his patience. A few hundred years later, Wang Xian and Qilin Bull came to the front of a tribe. This was a huge tribe. The outer perimeter of the tribe was filled with flaming buildings. "Let's go to this arcane fire tribe and see if we can get some information." Wang Xian gestured to Qilin Bull. After searching for a few hundred years, Wang Xian and the rest did not find any clues. He was prepared to continue to this place and search the memories of the experts and disciples here. He wanted to see if he could find anything. After all, this was the territory of the tribes in the Six Paths universe. After the news of the heavenly yuan fortune treasure came out, the tribes had been searching. They had been searching for at least tens of millions of years. Wang Xian and the rest disguised themselves as the living beings of the Six Paths universe. Their bodies were covered in flames as they walked in. The outer perimeter of the arcane fire tribe was filled with a large number of humans. It was very lively. Wang Xian entered and sensed the aura of the people around him. He began to search the memories of some experts in the sovereign realm silently. There were not many experts in the outer perimeter of this tribe, but there were a dozen of them. Wang Xian frowned as he looked through the information. There was no information. Seems like I have to make long-term plans in this universe. Wang Xian thought to himself. After which he walked towards a restaurant. He was prepared to stay in the outer perimeter of this tribe for a few more days. Damn it, those guys from the Nine Origins universe. They actually used that strange sorcery to expose King Kong Ming's identity. He was discovered by the heavenly yuan fortune treasure experts of this universe. They used them to kill King Kong Ming. Now that King Kong Ming has left the Six Paths universe, he needs some time to recover. He can't enter again. Those 12 ancestral sorcerers are a little difficult to deal with. Now that they are here, the other guys from the Nine Origins universe might be here too. When we meet them, we will kill them directly. In this universe, unless we meet the Nine Origins universe's Angel Emperor or the Thunder Emperor, we won't have much of an advantage here. After all, this universe doesn't have a spatial attribute. Our advantage is also great. If we attack directly and fail, we will leave. They won't be able to catch up to us. Moreover, they will attract the heavenly yuan fortune treasure of this universe. We will use this method to deal with them. I seem to have sensed a special aura. At the same time, somewhere in the outer perimeter of the arcane fire tribe, two figures were conversing telepathically. Suddenly, one of the figures raised his eyebrows. Chapter 4091. Inside a building in the Aohua tribe, two figures were looking outside. These two figures looked the same as the living beings of the Six Paths universe. But if one looked closely at their pupils, they would find that there was something different. In the deepest part of their pupils, there seemed to be a planet. This was their unique characteristic, the unique characteristic of the Void Universe's Void Royalty. The Void Universe and the Nine Origin Universe had been enemies for 3 or 4 eons. During the last few eons, a series of fierce and terrible battles broke out. Overall, there were winners and losers. The Void Tower of the Void Universe's royalty had also flown to the sky above the chaotic continent. The experts of the Nine Origin Universe had also stepped into the Void Universe's interior. The strength of the two sides was close. As for why the Nine Origin Universe and the Void Universe were enemies, Wang Xian did not know. Currently, whenever the experts of the Void Universe met the experts of the Nine Origin Universe, it was usually a fight to the death. Not long ago, the 12 ancestral sorcerers had killed an expert of the Void Universe. When the Heaven Origin creation experts of the Void Universe heard of this, they were furious. The two figures on the upper floor looked out of the window. One of them had a gleam in his eyes. Is that the aura of the Nine Origin Universe? The other Heavenly Yuan creation realm expert frowned slightly and asked the figure opposite him. Yes. The figure opposite him nodded and narrowed his eyes. If we weren't 10,000 meters away, I wouldn't have been able to sense it. A Heaven Origin creation expert of the Nine Origin Universe. This Heaven Origin creation expert looks unfamiliar, and his aura is different from the ones we've met before. Aren't the Nine Origin Universe full of Heaven Origin creation experts? Why is there another Heaven Origin creation expert? In addition, the figure beside him is also a Heaven Origin creation expert. He doesn't have the aura of the Nine Origin Universe, so he should be from another universe. He continued speaking with a puzzled look on his face. Anyone who mingles with the Nine Origin Universe is an enemy. The Heaven Origin creation realm powerhouse opposite him said coldly, this unfamiliar figure might be a powerhouse of the Nine Origins universe who used some method to help him break through in another universe. Attack. Another Heavenly Yuan creation realm expert from the Void Cosmos said in an eerie tone. The figure on the other side nodded heavily. However, at the same time Wang Xian, Qilin Bull and the rest who were about to enter a building paused. They could clearly sense that someone was staring at them. Moreover, they could faintly sense that these gazes were hostile. Furthermore, the energy harnessed within the other party's body was rather unique. They immediately looked over. By the time they looked over, the two figures had already disappeared. They could clearly sense that there was a wave of energy on their side. Spatial power, be careful. Wang Xian sensed the energy instantly. His eyes narrowed. Without any hesitation, he launched an attack in the direction he sensed. The power of space. This was the power of space and Wang Xian was very familiar with it. Currently, his Void Divine Dragon body had reached the Ninth Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Other than the 9 elements, he was most familiar with the spatial element. Boom. Wang Xian's arm turned into a claw and clawed out. At the same time, hundreds of thoughts ran through his mind. As soon as he touched the other party immediately attacked. Wang Xian was confident that he had not offended any other creation realm experts, especially since it was of the spatial attribute. Then there was only one possibility. The other party had a grudge against the 9 Essences universe. There was no room for doubt in the Void universe. There are invaders from other universes. Report to your leader immediately. Invaders from other universes are here. Kill them. Wang Xian did not hesitate as he roared. His voice reverberated throughout the entire arcane fire tribe. All the experts and disciples of the tribe were taken aback when they heard this sudden voice. Some of the experts felt the energy coming from this direction and their faces were filled with trepidation. Boom. At this time, Wang Xian's attack had already landed at the position where the experts from the Void universe were about to appear. However, when his attack landed, it did not hit the two of them. The 2 experts from the Void universe had forcefully changed their positions during the space teleportation. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, the 2 creation realm experts in the Void universe were shocked to see that Wang Xian could predict their location. All experts and disciples retreat. Anyone who dares to invade our void universe shall die. Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw them appear in another position. He roared again. With a shake of his body, the flames below him shot up to the sky. At the same time, his energy moved all the surrounding living beings to the outside to prevent them from being implicated. The reason why Wang Xian shouted so loudly was to prevent the creation realm experts from this universe from locking on and pursuing him. Although he would be exposed, he could at least cause some interference. He could create more trouble for the guys from the void universe. Wang Xian did not understand why the other party suddenly attacked them. However, he would not let them have it easy. Cunning guy. The two creation realm experts from the void universe were a little embarrassed when they saw Wang Xian's terrifying power of flames. They were the first to launch a sneak attack and were discovered. Now, the other party even released such a powerful power of flames. In the various universes, the space attribute was also said to be the king. Even a space attribute expert who had just stepped into the creation realm could fight against two experts of the same level. However, in this Six Paths universe they could not unleash their full strength. This was because there was no space energy in this universe. They could only use the energy stored in their bodies. As a result, their combat effectiveness would be greatly reduced. In addition, Wang Xian possessed the fire attribute and could make use of the surrounding fire attribute energy. Under such circumstances, they were no match for Wang Xian in a one-on-one fight. Let's go, guys from the Nine-Source universe. Just you wait, we will not let you off. The two creation realm experts from the void universe did not hesitate. With a roar, they teleported into the distance. Buzz buzz buzz. Their bodies flickered and disappeared quickly. Chase. Wang Xian looked over and immediately shouted at Qilin Bull. Then they quickly flew towards the place where the two creation realm experts from the void universe had disappeared. At this moment, Wang Xian did not look too good. Now that such a situation had occurred, Wang Xian and Qilin Bull were completely exposed. Although the two creation realm experts from the void universe were also exposed, they had the space attribute and could escape easily. Chapter 4092, 111. The two creation realm heavenly yuan experts from the void universe quickly teleported away. Wang Xian and the rest chased after them. They left behind a group of shocked disciples from the arcane fire tribe. Experts flew out from the depths of the arcane fire tribe. They looked at the gradually disappearing energy with fear and horror on their faces. Are they the powerful enemies from the outer domain that the divine fire tribe leader mentioned? I think so. The energy that erupted just now was at the pinnacle of the universe lord realm. This is under the suppression of our universe. I heard that they are creation realm heavenly yuan experts. How terrifying. Report to the divine fire tribe immediately. Nine-Source universe? And that strange teleportation ability. What is that? Why are they invading us? What is it for? The cataclysm has not arrived yet. The experts from the arcane fire tribe spoke with lingering fear. Although the arcane fire tribe also had pinnacle of the universe lord realm, they knew that those who invaded their universe were creation realm heavenly yuan experts. Fortunately, with the suppression of the universe, the strength of the invaders could be reduced to below creation realm heavenly yuan experts. They immediately sent this news to the divine fire tribe. Boss, who are they? At the same time, Unicorn Bull asked Wang Xian in astonishment. They are creation realm heavenly yuan experts from the void universe. The void universe and the Nine-Source universe are enemies. Wang Xian flew quickly and frowned. I don't know the exact situation, but it seems like a war will break out when the experts from the two universes meet. Looking ahead, he could no longer sense the traces of the two experts in the void universe. The space attribute was almost invincible in terms of speed. Wang Xian's wind and thunder power had not hit the other party just now. Boss, our tracks have been exposed. Where are we going now? Qilin Bull asked. For safety's sake, let's leave the fire plains and go to the grassland. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before replying. What happened just now might have caught the attention of the creation realm heavenly yuan experts from the Six Paths universe. If they had the means or treasures to track them, Wang Xian and the rest would be in grave danger. Besides, we have to be careful of the two guys from the void universe. Wang Xian added with a tinge of coldness on his face. The two fellows from the void universe were not worried about being exposed because of their space attribute abilities. Qilin Bull nodded. If they dare to attack again, lock them with wind and thunder power and make them pay the price. Wang Xian muttered as he flew towards the grassland. His eyes flashed coldly. That fellow from the Nine Essences universe has very powerful reactions. Plus, he has the power of fire. We can't do anything to him. At the same time, Two divine origin creation realm experts from the Void Universe spoke on a mountain peak in the distance. With our strength there is indeed nothing we can do to them. Another Void expert nodded and looked to the right. According to the spatial ripples, they should be heading towards the grassland. Should we call a senior over? If a senior comes we should be able to kill them. Realm Heave King's King should Realm Universe realm experts from should. They will Heaven Yuan of the Realm Xian King experts will. They Xian of. Another Void expert shook his head. Let's focus on the Heaven Yuan Fortune Treasure. Ask if there are any seniors in the Six Paths Cosmos grassland. If there are they wouldn't mind helping. Said the Saint Heavenly Yuan Xian reluctantly. During the last cataclysm, his entire army and many of his descendants had died at the hands of the Nine Source Universe experts. If he had the chance to kill the Nine Source Universe experts he would not give it up. Then ask if any of them are in the grassland. The Saint Heavenly Yuan Xian nodded after some hesitation. The Void Universe only had one space attribute. Logically speaking, only one Heavenly Yuan Xian of the Void Universe could be born. However, due to their powerful space attribute during the cataclysm, the Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts of the Void Universe would bring their disciples who had the opportunity to break through to a space attribute universe. They would occupy the space attribute quota in that universe and break through to the next level. This led to the aggressive nature of the Void Universe. The fact that the Void Universe could fight against the Nine Source Universe and not be at a disadvantage proved that they were very strong. Otherwise, the fallen Shadow Devil Emperor and the other experts of the Nine Source Universe would have killed them. The two experts from the Void Universe moved and flew towards the grassland. They quickly teleported to the front, leaving behind some spatial eyes in the void. Once they passed through here, they would enter the line of sight of the spatial eye and be discovered. The spatial eye was very well hidden and very difficult to discover. Even if they were discovered, they would have already received the information from the spatial eye. They were also able to determine the other party's location. Many existences who had just entered the divine origin creation realm would find it difficult to discover this secret technique of theirs. Let's go. The two divine origin creation realm experts in the Void Universe left some spatial eyes in the void and then left. It was also impossible for them to continue wasting time with Wang Xian and the rest. Wang Xian and Qilin Bull advanced forward, maintaining the speed of a fifth-order universe sovereign. At this moment, Wang Xian was shrouded in the aura of the wood attribute and held a wooden staff in his hand. They were very vigilant. After flying for a day, Wang Xian sensed something and looked in a direction. Without the slightest hesitation, he waved his arm, and a wave of energy directly attacked towards the right. Bam! In the blink of an eye, the sky to the right exploded, and the spatial attribute overflowed. Space attribute? Those two fellows from the Void Universe are still targeting us? Qilin Bull looked over and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. They should be monitoring us. Let's go, we'll take a detour. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and said. It was impossible to change their destination. Moreover, since those fellows from the Void Universe wanted to target him, Wang Xian also wanted to take revenge. He had the 5 elements in his body, and the energy could be interchangeable. As long as he was not in the land of the dead, he would have a great advantage. He was not afraid of the experts from the Void Universe at all. Moreover, as long as the power of wind and lightning fell on them, it was hard to say who would be the one to deal with who. Boss, since they want to deal with us, then let's play with them. Qilin Bull said with a murderous look. Wang Xian squinted his eyes slightly. Play with them. We can put the matter of the divine origin creation realm treasure aside. Chapter 4093. Wang Xian was a vengeful person. Of course, there was a premise to his vengeance. Once the other party provoked him, he would make the other party pay a terrible price. The experts from the Void Universe attacked them and exposed them. Now, if they still wanted to harm them, Wang Xian would play with them. Even the matter of the heavenly origin creation treasure could be put aside. Anyway, the heavenly origin creation treasure was a matter of luck. Boss, what should we do? Qilin Bull stared at Wang Xian and asked. First, we have to determine the location of the heavenly origin creation realm experts in the Void Universe. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as a plan formed in his mind. The Six Paths universe is huge, but I guess many heavenly origin creation realm experts are like us, searching for information about the heavenly origin creation treasure in the 6 treasure lands. Under such circumstances, the chances of encountering other experts are quite high. Qilin Bull said, Boss, if we look for it, we should be able to find it. Yeah. Wang Xian nodded and his eyes flickered. Let me contact the other heavenly origin creation realm experts in the 9 source universe. As he spoke, he took out a communication stone plate. The communication stone plate was made by the 12 ancestors of sorcery. It could not only communicate in the chaos but also in this universe. However, the heavenly origin creation realm experts in the nine-source universe did not communicate much with each other. They fought alone. It was like searching for treasures in the Six Paths universe. If they really encountered the heavenly origin creation treasure, how would they distribute it? This was a huge problem. No one would give up on the heavenly origin creation treasure. There might even be fights over the heavenly origin creation treasure. Under such circumstances, unless it was a special situation, the heavenly origin creation realm experts in the nine-source universe would not join forces. They would not communicate with each other either. Wang Xian sent a message to the Fairy Queen Heavenly Unity Sage, and the other heavenly origin creation realm experts. Of course, this message was not sent to the Phoenix Emperor. The content of the message was to inform them if they encountered experts from the Void Universe. At the same time, Wang Xian told them about the sneak attack. The Fairy Queen Heavenly Unity Sage, and the heavenly origin creation realm experts of the Black Tortoise clan responded immediately. The Void Universe had a grudge with them. Since Wang Xian wanted their information, they would not hide anything. They would even pay special attention. The experts of the Void Universe attacked the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. This might be related to us. The 12 ancestral sorcerers were slightly surprised when they received the news. The ancestral sorcerer raised his eyebrows and said, "That's possible." However, after the Dragon King was ambushed by them, he obviously had his eyes on them and wanted to drag it out with them. TSK, this Dragon King is really brave. He's a vengeful person. An ancestral sorcerer sighed. This matter may have something to do with us. If the Dragon King wants to waste time with them, then let's give Kongwen to him. This way we can continue to be on good terms with him. The ancestral sorcerer in the center said. Sure. I agree. The Dragon King's potential hasn't reached its peak yet. He shouldn't be at the peak of the universe ruler realm right now. When he advances again, his strength will be comparable to ours. Moreover, the difficulty of his advancement will be much easier than that of a Sky Yuan creation realm powerhouse. We can invest in him. The group of ancestral sorcerers nodded in agreement. Putting aside their previous cooperation, given Wang Xian's potential, they felt that they could invest in him and build a good relationship. Alright, I'll send the message to him. The ancestral sorcerer with a human head and a snake body nodded and sent their message over. At the same time, Wang Xian, who was flying towards the grassland, was surprised when he saw the message from the 12 ancestral sorcerers. The 12 ancestral sorcerers are very honest and are even willing to let me use a treasure for the time being. Wang Xian looked at the message and was pleasantly surprised. The treasure of the 12 ancestral sorcerers could detect the location of experts in the Void Universe. Especially in a universe without space attributes like the Six Paths universe. Moreover, the 12 ancestral sorcerers also told him about how they killed the experts from the Void Universe. Could it be because the 12 ancestral sorcerers killed the Sky Yuan creation realm experts from the Void Universe? That's why the two experts from the Void Universe attacked us? Lin Yo, who was at the side, said when he saw the message. That's highly possible. However, they chose the wrong target. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and revealed a cold and sinister look. He didn't care if it was because the 12 ancestral sorcerers killed them. Since the experts from the Void Universe wanted to attack him, he would retaliate. Wang Xian replied to the 12 ancestral sorcerers. Soon, the 12 ancestral sorcerers replied with an address. The 12 ancestral sorcerers are at the Ajin Mountain Range. Let's go look for them, Wang Xian said to Lin Yo before flying towards the Ajin Mountain Range. The Ajin Mountain Range wasn't very close. However, after Wang Xian gave up on heading to the grassland, they didn't hide too much and flew at full speed. Midway they came to the location of a tribe and made a teleportation. The Six Paths universe had a teleportation formation that was created by the Sky Yuan creation realm experts of the Six Paths universe. With the teleportation formation as a transfer point, Wang Xian and the rest arrived at the Ajin Mountain Range in half a year. Dragon King. Not long after entering the Ajin Mountain Range, the 12 ancestral sorcerers welcomed them. They looked at Wang Xian and Lin Yo and greeted them with a smile. Thank you, ancestral sorcerers, for giving me the treasure this time. Wang Xian thanked them with a beaming face. You're welcome. The Void Universe is the enemy of all living beings in the Nine-Source universe. The ancestral sorcerer in the middle smiled and shook his head. With a wave of his arm, a compass with spatial attributes flew towards him. This compass is called the Space Rune. It can detect powerful spatial forces. In this universe, the effect is greatly enhanced. You can sense it from far away. Not long ago, we also sensed an expert from the Void Universe through the space rune. We cursed him and killed him. The ancestral sorcerer in the middle introduced. Ancestral sorcerers, you are really amazing. You have all kinds of treasures. Wang Xian's eyes lit up. He took it and sensed it. These are just some small tricks. Dragon King, you have to be careful when dealing with experts from the Void Universe. They are good at sneak attacks and escaping. You have to act within your means. The ancestral sorcerer in the middle reminded him. I know. Wang Xian nodded his head. He looked at the 12 ancestral sorcerers and asked with a smile, I wonder what ancestral sorcerers have gained in the Six Paths universe? Nothing at all. We are guessing that the Sky Yuan creation treasure might not be fully born yet. The 10 Arms ancestral sorcerer shook his head. Chapter 4094. The 12 witches did not receive any news about the heavenly Yuan creation treasure. They had arrived earlier than Wang Xian. They had also searched more places than Wang Xian. However, they had not found any news about the heavenly Yuan creation treasure. According to their deductions and senses, the heavenly Yuan creation treasure should not have been born yet. Wang Xian chatted briefly with the 12 witches before they parted ways. When a large number of heavenly Yuan creation realm experts gathered together, they would be easily discovered by the heavenly Yuan creation realm experts of this universe. Once they were discovered, it would be difficult for them to fight back. After all, their strength was suppressed. The heavenly Yuan creation realm experts of the Six Paths universe were invincible in their own universe. Unless a dozen heavenly Yuan creation realm experts teamed up and attacked one of them with their trump cards. Otherwise, they would not be able to fight back. Let's go to the grassland, Wang Xian said to Qilin. They flew in the direction of the grassland again. The 2 heavenly Yuan creation realm experts of the Void Universe should be in the grassland. It was impossible for them to lock onto him. Their target was the heavenly Yuan creation treasure. There was no reason for the 2 experts of the Void Universe to keep tracking them. Therefore Wang Xian deduced that they were in the grassland. Wang Xian and Qilin arrived at the grassland a year later. The grassland of the Six Paths universe was a real grassland. There were all kinds of plants as far as the eye could see. Occasionally they could see some forests and rivers flowing through it. The entire grassland was exceptionally beautiful and full of vitality. The rich vitality of the wood element made this area exceptionally beautiful. Begin the search. Wang Xian moved his palm and took out the empty word compass to read the information on it. The scouting treasure created by the 12 witches was still very effective. In addition, the heavenly Yuan creation realm experts who entered the Six Paths universe were usually in the 6 treasure lands. Therefore, the chances of Wang Xian and Qilin finding them in the grassland were still very high. According to the 12 witches, there are more than a dozen heavenly Yuan creation realm experts in the Void Universe. I should be able to find them. Wang Xian thought to himself as he flew in the direction of the grassland. He opened a map and started a carpet search. There is a tribe in front. Let's go. After searching for half a year, Wang Xian looked ahead and said to Qilin. Wang Xian carried a wood attribute bow and arrows on his back and a wood attribute sharp sword in his hand. His body exuded a wood attributed energy. This kind of attire was very common in the grasslands. The Qilin bull at the side was shrouded in Wang Xian's wood attribute energy. If it wasn't for the creation of Sky Yuan, one wouldn't be able to tell. The tribes in the grassland were all located in a large forest. The trees grew into the shape of houses. It was exceptionally beautiful at first glance. However, when Wang Xian entered the front of the tribe, the spatial text compass in his hand vibrated slightly. A ball of energy appeared on the empty spatial compass. When Wang Xian saw the changes on the empty text, his eyes narrowed. I really didn't expect to find a divine essence creation stage powerhouse here. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth arched into a faint smile. According to the information displayed on the space word compass, the creation realm experts in this void universe were very far away from Wang Xian. He was probably in another part of the tribe. Between creation realm experts in this Six Paths universe, when both sides are trying their best to conceal their auras, it would be difficult to discover each other unless they are within a range of tens of thousands of meters. This spatial text compass is very powerful. It is indeed made for the experts in the void universe. However, the detection range of this spatial text compass is still limited. Wang Xian murmured. He gestured to Qilin beside him and flew in another direction of the tribe. It's just ahead, about 20,000 meters away. According to the information on the spatial text compass, Wang Xian calculated in his heart and looked in that direction. Wang Xian didn't make a move immediately. In fact, he wasn't even prepared to do it himself. It was impossible for him and the Qilin Bull to kill a divine essence creation realm expert from the void universe. Therefore he was prepared to borrow strength. The 12 ancestors of sorcery had killed a creation realm expert from the void universe. In fact, they weren't the ones who killed him personally. Instead, they had placed a curse on him. This curse could keep his body exposed and attract the attention of the creation realm experts in the Six Paths universe. Then they would come and kill him. Wang Xian didn't have the ability to cast curses, but he had an ability. Searching the void. As long as he locked onto a heaven essence creation realm expert in the void universe, he only needed to transmit the information to the heaven essence creation realm expert in that universe. As for how to transmit the information, Wang Xian already had a plan. His body moved and he immediately flew into the distance, entering the interior of the tribe. Soul capture. With a flick of his mind, Wang Xian locked his gaze on a few first-order and second-order universe sovereigns and immediately unleashed his soul assimilation power. Waves of information flowed into his mind. Finally, he locked onto a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man's grandfather was the elder of this tribe and had the strength of an 8th-order universe sovereign. This tribe's strongest leader was only at the 9th-order universe sovereign realm. Alright, let's try it out. Wang Xian had a plan in mind. He controlled the middle-aged second-order universe sovereign expert to come to the area that the spatial text compass was pointing at, about 100,000 meters away. Wang Xian looked in that direction and moved his palm. The unbeginning sacred wings void capture power gathered in his hand. With a wave of his arm, a wave of energy accurately covered that area. At the same time, on a building in that area, an old man sat there drinking tea. Suddenly, his eyes narrowed as he sensed a wave of energy coming towards him. The energy wasn't strong, but he realized that he couldn't dodge it at all. What's going on? It's not the Six Paths universe's attribute, it's the wind and lightning attribute. He stood up in an instant and his figure immediately disappeared. He teleported to a position in the sky, but at this moment he sensed that the energy sitting on his body wasn't from the Six Paths universe. There are creation realm experts from other universes nearby. His eyes flashed coldly as he quickly sensed the energy on his body. It's not the power of curses. It shouldn't be the 12 shamans of the 9 Origins universe. He checked and thought to himself. However, he also realized that this energy was attached to his body, and he had to get rid of it completely. Someone is definitely trying to kill me. He made up his mind and without any hesitation, he instantly teleported far away. Chapter 4095. He escaped? How cautious. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he watched the creation realm expert from the void universe leave. In the Six Paths universe, no one dared to engage in a prolonged battle. Otherwise it would be suicidal. Although the experts who entered this universe all had trump cards and could be resurrected. But they would definitely have to pay the price. Take Wang Xian and Qilin for example. Their trump card for resurrection was the soul revival fruit. Wang Xian was in a better situation. After his death, the progenitor tree could directly pull his soul into the dragon palace. This guaranteed that he would not die. However, if Wang Xian really died and lost his physical body, he would need a large amount of resources to recover his strength. The amount of resources required was terrifying. In fact, the dragon palace did not have the resources to return him to his peak after his death. Of course, if Wang Xian's corpse could be brought back after his death, then his losses would be minimal. He would not need to consume too many resources to recover. The other creation realm experts would also have to pay a price. Unless they really had a heaven-defying resurrection treasure. But such treasures were too few and far between. The creation realm expert from the void universe sensed that something was amiss. When he did not discover the attacker, he chose to leave immediately without any hesitation. Wang Xian saw him fleeing and immediately manipulated the middle-aged man beside him to fly towards the center of the tribe. His eyes were a little dull. His mind had been temporarily controlled by Wang Xian. Swish, swish, swish. Rumble, rumble, rumble. At this moment, the commotion here immediately attracted the attention of all the experts in the tribe. The aura just now was extremely terrifying. It made all the experts in the tribe shudder. One by one the experts flew over. The leader of the tribe also flew over to feel the surges of energy. It doesn't seem to be energy from our universe. He murmured and his expression changed. As a leader of a tribe in the grassland, he knew a lot about the current situation in the Six Paths universe. Moreover, one of the overlords of the grassland had also sent them some news. You are the leader of this tribe? At this moment he saw a tribesman flying over. However, the words of this tribesman stunned him. His face was filled with astonishment. When he saw the tribesman's eyes dilate, his eyes narrowed. "I am," he immediately replied with a nervous expression on his face. "What did you do to my people?" The one who just left was an expert from another universe. There is a stream of energy here that can guide the direction of that expert. Pass this energy to the Heaven Origin Serendipity expert from your universe. Remember, you must pass this news to the Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses of your universe. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear the consequences. As the middle-aged man's voice rang out, he held a sharp sword that contained the power of wind and lightning. The tip of the sword was pointing in one direction. As soon as he finished speaking, the middle-aged man's expression slowly returned to normal. However, the expression of the leader on the opposite side changed slightly. "Leader. Leader." At this time, experts from various tribes flew over from behind. "Contact the chief of the Jianghu tribe immediately. Tell him that you have information about the invaders." The leader didn't dare to hesitate and immediately ordered. Although he knew that the one who had controlled his tribesmen just now was probably an invader, he still didn't believe it. However, the matter of the intruder was of great importance. This was not something he dared to hide, and he had to report it in time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to bear the consequences if they were punished by the Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses. They immediately passed the news to the Jianghu tribe. The Jianghu tribe also reported the news to the Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses. My subordinate sent a message saying that they encountered an invader. Moreover, the invader left behind a stream of energy that can guide another invader's location. At the same time, in the void at the center of the 6 treasured lands, there was an incomparably huge palace in the sky. In the center of the palace there were 3 huge thrones. On the thrones sat 3 figures. One of them, whose body was glowing with golden light, looked at the information in his hand and said calmly, "Is the news true or false?" The figure shrouded in yellow energy, who looked like an earth giant, asked calmly, "The information from my subordinates is naturally true. As for the specifics, we don't know yet. However, we can go take a look." The metal-type figure replied, "Let's go take a look." Although a large number of Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses have entered our universe, they can't play any tricks and we don't have to worry about traps. Also, the Void Universe's Heavenly Origin Creation Realm expert that I killed not long ago was obviously killed by another Heavenly Origin Creation pit. Among the invaders, there are many who hate us and want to use us to kill them. Although they want to use us to kill them, it's also a huge benefit for us. These invaders all have treasures to revive them, but their corpses are still incomparably huge treasures. Even if their attributes are different from our 6 paths universe, the energy of their corpses is still incomparably precious. The figure shrouded in black and green energy said with a smile, That's true. In our universe we are invincible. Although they are coveting our universe's Divine Origin Creation Stage treasure, if we can leave behind the corpses of a dozen Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses, we won't lose much even if the treasure is taken away." The Earth-type giant nodded. Although the current situation was unfavorable for the 6 paths universe, however, they were in their territory. How could they be so easily bullied? In fact, they had been plotting all along. Plotting to find the unknown Divine Origin Creation Stage treasure. And plotting to kill the invaders. If they could kill the control-level Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses and keep their corpses, they might be able to give birth to a new Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouse. As for the fact that someone wanted to use them to kill their enemies, they didn't care. What they wanted was the corpses of the Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses. That was enough. Even if it wasn't the body of a Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouse, it was still precious and not something they could obtain. Especially the corpses of control-level Divine Origin Creation Stage powerhouses. "I'll go take a look." The metal-type figure stood up and disappeared in an instant. In less than an hour, his figure appeared on the grassland. Just as they had said, this was their territory. They could use the teleportation formation to quickly travel to different areas. Chapter 4096. Sir, this energy is suspected to be left behind by an invader. They say it can lead us to other invaders. In a tribe on the plains. When the metal-type creation realm expert from the Hexapath universe arrived, the tribe leader hurriedly knelt on the ground and reported the situation respectfully. Let's see what they're up to." The metal elemental Divine Origin Creation Realm expert moved his palm and held the energy in his hand, sensing it for a moment. His eyes flashed when he saw the sharp sword formed from the power of wind and thunder. The sword pointed in a certain direction. He hesitated for 2 seconds, then his body moved and disappeared in an instant. As a creation realm expert, his speed was not something a pinnacle universe ruler could match. Even a peak sovereign realm expert with the space element was a far cry from a heavenly origin realm expert. With the guidance of the wind and thunder sword, the metal-type creation realm expert from the hexapath universe flew quickly. At the same time, somewhere on the plains, in a dense forest, the creation realm expert from the void universe stood there. He was frowning as he sensed the power of wind and thunder in his body. This energy gave him a feeling of unease. The unfamiliar energy attached to his body was definitely not a good thing for him. However, this energy was very special. It would take him some time to get rid of it. At least 3 to 4 hours. I've been teleporting for 2 hours. I'm already very far away from that tribe. I need to get rid of this special energy first. Otherwise, I'm afraid something will happen. He muttered to himself. He already knew that an expert from his universe had been killed by the 12 witch ancestors of the Nine-Source universe. Fortunately, this energy was not the power of the curse. Fortunately, the other party did not have the strength of the 12 witch ancestors. If the 12 witch ancestors had set him up, he might not be able to get rid of the energy in his body. The 12 witch ancestors were at the control level. He immediately sat down cross-legged and started to get rid of the energy in his body. Oh, there really are creation realm experts from other universes, and they're of the space attribute. However, half an hour later, a golden figure flew over from a place not far away. He looked forward with a smile on his face. Regardless of the attribute, the corpse of a divine origin creation realm expert was an incomparably huge treasure. He narrowed his eyes slightly, and a shadow that looked like a golden leopard appeared behind him. This phantom disappeared instantly and attacked the divine essence creation realm experts in the void universe. The golden leopard's speed was extremely fast and terrifying. The moment the shadow of the golden leopard appeared, the eyes of the void universe's creation realm expert, who was sitting cross-legged and clearing the energy in his body, narrowed when he saw this scene. Without the slightest hesitation, he teleported away. At the same time, his face was full of embarrassment. The Six Paths Universe's Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts, they are experts from the Six Paths Universe. His face darkened. After teleporting once, his palm moved and a scroll appeared in his hand. He immediately opened the scroll. Buzz. In an instant, his figure disappeared again. The teleportation distance this time was very, very far. He even went straight to the edge of the grassland. As expected of a heavenly origin creation expert from another universe, as expected of a space attribute heavenly origin creation expert. The metal attribute heavenly origin creation realm expert immediately chased after him as he teleported. When he first saw the figure of the void universe expert, the figure had already started to turn illusory. Following which, he lost his sense of the void universe expert. This was the trump card of the heaven origin creation realm experts. If they encountered the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm experts, they would have a way to escape. They would also be able to quickly shake off his lock. However, the Six Paths Universe's metal attribute heavenly origin creation realm expert looked at the wind and thunder sword in his hand. Looking at the direction it was pointing at, he burst forth with his strongest speed and headed towards the left. How did I get found out? The heaven origin creation realm expert, who had instantly left the void universe through a treasure, arrived at the edge of the grassland with a gloomy expression. This kind of long-distance teleportation treasure was hard to come by for him. It was very difficult to obtain. He did not have many in his possession. Now that he had used one, he felt a little heartache. Is it because of the wind and thunder power in my body? But even if my body is attached to this energy, the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert should not have arrived so quickly, right? Could this energy be a treasure that the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert obtained from the chaos? Or did he trade with other heaven origin creation realm experts? After I was discovered and enveloped by this energy, the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert rushed over? He guessed with an extremely ugly expression. He was somewhat bewildered and uncertain. Feeling the energy in his body, he gritted his teeth and continued to flee into the distance. Teleportation, 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 continuous teleportation. Soon he was out of the grassland. You want to escape? Can you? Behind him, the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert was also flying continuously. Soon he felt the aura of the void universe expert. His eyes were filled with coldness and awe. Those who covet the Six Paths Universe's treasure will have to pay a terrible price. As he spoke, his entire body underwent a huge change. From a completely human form he turned into a golden leopard. The golden leopard emitted a holy majesty, turned into a golden light and flew in the sky. His true form was a golden leopard. The metal elemental beast had broken through to the heaven origin creation realm, gained sentience and possessed great strength. The golden leopard's speed was terrifying. Soon, he closed the distance between him and the Void Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert. When he saw the Void Universe's expert in front of him again, his eyes were filled with killing intent. He roared and directly pounced towards the Void Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert. Damn it, I've been targeted. It's definitely because of the energy in my body. If not for this energy, I wouldn't have been targeted. Who is it? When he saw the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert chasing after him again, a look of despair appeared on his face. He was confident that he could escape, but he could not be targeted by the Six Paths Universe's heaven origin creation realm expert in advance. Once targeted, he could only escape to the edge of the Six Paths Universe and into the chaos. Otherwise being locked on would mean death. Now he could no longer escape. He had to do something. You want to covet the Six Paths Universe's treasure? The Void Universe's expert was shrouded in golden radiance, and he was completely sealed. The golden leopard appeared directly above him. Chapter 4097. Damn it, how did you lock onto me? Did you rely on the power of the wind and thunder? The Void Universe's creation realm powerhouse glared at the golden leopard when he realized that he couldn't escape. He was also a creation realm powerhouse, so he didn't fear the golden leopard at all. You have to ask who you have offended. Interesting. You guys actually want to use us to get rid of you. But we are willing to be used. The golden leopard flew over and didn't kill him immediately. Instead he said coldly. After saying that, he raised his claws and a wave of golden energy completely sealed it. Then he was killed instantly. After killing a divine origin creation realm expert, the golden leopard grinned and revealed a smile. The reason he had revealed this matter was also an overt plot. He wanted to tell the powerhouses of the Void Universe that someone was trying to harm them. The golden leopard knew that someone was using them to kill their opponents. However, he also hoped that this would happen more often. The Six Paths Universe was willing to be used and willing to help. After all, they could also reap great benefits by helping. Moreover, this benefit was something they couldn't get in the past. They even hoped that more and more Creation Realm powerhouses would tell them information about other Creation Realm powerhouses so that they could kill them one by one. The golden leopard put away the corpse, sneered, and left. Damn it, I was tricked by other Creation Realm powerhouses? After the expert in the Void Universe was killed, he was in another universe. Inside a huge void tower, a statue slowly opened its eyes, its face revealing a cold and angry expression. Wasn't this the work of a Creation Realm powerhouse of the Six Paths Universe? Was it another Creation Realm powerhouse who had tricked him? It's very likely that the 12 ancestral sorcerers of the Nine Origins universe killed General Jing Kong. He had a gloomy and helpless look on his face. He hesitated, gritted his teeth, and decided to continue into the Void Universe. He couldn't accept it. He wanted to know who had tricked him. In addition, he wanted revenge. Although he had suffered heavy losses this time, he was fortunate that he still had some treasures that could resurrect him. But this time he had to be even more careful when he entered the Six Paths universe. If he were to die and revive again, he would need a long time to recuperate. He took out a communicator and immediately sent his message to the other Creation Realm experts in the Void Universe. For special reasons, the Void Universe could only give birth to one Divine Origin Creation Realm expert. After the first Creation Realm expert in the Void Universe was born, he established a royal family. Void Royal Family. The Void Royalty was born. The first Divine Origin Creation Realm expert led his subordinates into other weaker universes, allowing his descendants to break through to the Divine Origin Creation Realm. That was how the Void Royal Family of today was formed, a huge empire. On the whole, the Divine Origin Creation Realm experts of the Void Universe were more united than those of other universes. More unified. When his message was sent out, the rest of the Creation Realm experts in the Void Universe immediately received the message. When they saw it, their eyes were slightly wide open. 2 Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts were killed in the Six Paths universe. Was someone targeting the Void Universe? They had no choice but to be careful and vigilant. The energy of seeking enemies in the Void has disappeared. Did the Creation Realm expert of the Six Paths universe kill him, or did he get rid of the energy? At the same time, at the grassland of the Six Paths universe, Wang Xian sensed something and whispered to himself. My seeking enemies in the void shouldn't be that easy to get rid of. Moreover, that expert from the void universe was just a beginner. Wang Xian murmured. He didn't think too much about it. He didn't care if the expert was killed or not. He continued his search. This was just the beginning. At least he had tricked a wave of experts from the void universe. As for whether he could succeed, it all depended on his luck. Let's go, let's continue our search. Wang Xian said to Qilin Bull. The two of them continued their search in the grassland. They came to the various tribes in the grassland and sensed the auras in the tribes. When he arrived at the fourth tribe, he didn't find any powerhouses from the void universe in this tribe. However, he sensed the aura of another divine origin creation realm expert. At the same time, that expert also sensed Wang Xian's presence. Wang Xian stared at the old man with the wood elemental staff. That old man also looked at Wang Xian. In the end, they left in opposite directions. There was no enmity between them. They weren't familiar with each other either. They were all competitors and didn't know each other well. Therefore, they didn't have any contact. Wang Xian left immediately after circling the tribe. Let's go. They continued their search. Wang Xian and Qilin Bull searched the entire grassland. They spent more than 100 years roaming the entire grassland. When he didn't find any experts from the void universe, he headed for the water source closest to the grassland. The grassland and the water source were two different sources. The water source could be said to be the ocean. The difference was that the water source was shrouded in heavy rain all year round. In the sky it was raining cats and dogs. From time to time, special rainbows could be seen. It was like a mirage. There was a unique scenery. In the sky above the water source, there were also tribes shrouded in heavy rain. These tribes lived above the water source and were shrouded in heavy rain. They used water energy to build many majestic buildings. Boss, the scenery here is really good. When they came to the front of a tribe, Qilin Bull looked around with a smile. Yeah. Wang Xian nodded his head. Every universe had some very majestic and stunning places. This water source had indeed shocked them. The water source was huge and its area was much larger than the grassland. Most importantly, it was shrouded in rain above and the ocean below. Let's go in and have a look. As Wang Xian spoke, the two of them entered the tribe. At this moment, Wang Xian was holding a water attribute sword and dressed exactly like the cultivators in the water source. Qilin Bull was the same under the shroud of his energy. They entered the tribe ahead and walked on the path condensed by water. Raindrops fell from the sky, and around them were buildings made of condensed water energy. There were many special items in the buildings. Wang Xian and the rest looked around. At this moment he felt the spatial compass on him vibrate. This made Wang Xian squint his eyes. Chapter 4098. There's an expert from the void universe in this tribe. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. With a flick of his palm he took out the space rune's compass and checked the distance. After checking the distance he squinted his eyes. Continue? Wang Xian revealed a faint smile. However, this time he did not rush over immediately. Instead, he roamed around the area and controlled a third-order sovereign realm expert. After Wang Xian controlled him, he brought him towards the location of the Sky Origin Realm Creation Realm expert in the Void Universe. It's right in front. Wang Xian looked at the space rune's compass. Without any hesitation, he waved his arm and sent a wave of energy towards that direction. It contained the power of searching for enemies in the void. In an instant, it entered the region. At the same time, in a building in front, two figures were seated inside, discussing some matters. These two figures were the ones who had ambushed Wang Xian previously. At this instant, the two of them felt a wave of energy shrouding them. Their expressions changed and their eyes narrowed. What's going on? The two of them stood up immediately and unleashed the power of space to sense their surroundings. Crackle. However, at this moment, the power of searching for enemies in the void landed on them. Send the news out. Wang Xian ordered the expert from the tribe who was being controlled. Rumble. Who dares to create trouble in our Fuha tribe? At this moment, Wang Xian's attack had attracted the attention of the expert from the tribe. The Fuha tribe was strong and had a few Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm experts in the tribe. And the energy that Wang Xian unleashed just now was at the Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm. This power was already very powerful and terrifying to them. An expert from the Ming Fuha tribe flew out and looked over warily. Whoosh. As for the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm expert controlled by Wang Xian, he wielded a sharp sword condensed from the power of wind and lightning and immediately flew towards the group of experts. What happened next was the same as the previous time. Wang Xian, on the other hand, did not hesitate to escape immediately. It was completely silent. No one knew that he was the one who did it. This energy? It's the energy that General Jing Kong was talking about. It was this energy that landed on General Jing Kong and caused him to be locked on by the Six Paths Universe's Tianyuan Fate Realm experts. Damn it, we have to run now. At this moment, the two Divine Essence Creation Realm powerhouses from the Void Universe sensed the changes in their surroundings. They sensed the energy attached to their bodies, and their expressions changed slightly. General Jing Kong was killed by the Heaven Origin Creation Stage experts in the Six Paths Universe because he was locked onto by this energy. He couldn't even escape. Now that they also had this energy in their bodies, their expressions became extremely ugly and angry. Someone was plotting against them. If they didn't escape, they wouldn't be able to get rid of the energy in their bodies. Then they would be finished. Without the slightest hesitation, the two of them desperately teleported away. While they were on the run, in the sky above the center of the Six Treasure Lands, in that lofty palace. Another piece of information. Not bad, not bad. I really hope that the infighting between those guys is as fierce as possible. The figure shrouded in golden light received a message, and a smile appeared on his face. Without the slightest hesitation, he instantly disappeared. This time his speed was much faster than last time. In less than 10 minutes, he arrived at the floating tribe through the teleportation array. After receiving the familiar sharp sword from the floating He tribe's powerhouse, a smile appeared on his face. Following the guidance of the sharp sword, he quickly chased after the two Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses in the Void Universe. An hour later, he sensed the aura of two figures in front of him. Space Attribute, it's the Space Attribute again. With so many Space Attribute Creation Realm powerhouses, they should be powerhouses from the Void Universe. Who could be plotting against them? Powerhouses from the Nine Origins universe? That's very possible. Jin Bao had become a Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouse a long time ago. He also knew a little about some things. For example, the war between the Nine Origins universe and the Void universe. This was something that many powerhouses in the universe knew about. However, Jin Bao didn't think too much about it. Although the other party was an expert from the Void universe, and they didn't have the space attribute here, the energy contained in their bodies was still a huge treasure. Even if they didn't use it, they could still trade it. Swish, swish, swish. The next moment, a golden radiance erupted from his body and shrouded the two Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses in the Void Universe. Not good, the Six Paths Universe's Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses are chasing after us. Let's split up and escape. The two Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses from the Void Universe felt the energy behind them and their expressions changed drastically. Without any hesitation, they immediately took out their trump cards to escape. They took out two scrolls and crushed them with heartache. The scrolls disappeared instantly. The golden radiance attacked where they disappeared and Jin Bao's figure appeared. If it weren't for this sharp sword that can guide us, you guys would have really escaped. Jin Bao flew over and saw the sword of wind and thunder in his hand split into two sharp swords, pointing in two different directions. He smiled. He flew quickly in one direction. At the same time, he took out his communicator and sent a message. He chased after them in one direction. In less than an hour, an incomparably huge palm appeared on the ground below. It directly grabbed the sword that was floating in the air and pointing in one direction. The palm grabbed the sword of wind and thunder in its hand and then disappeared into the ground. Damn it, the energy in this body is hard to get rid of. It's over. If the Six Paths Universe's Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses chase after us, we're finished. One of the Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses used a treasure to teleport a long distance. However, when he wanted to get rid of the energy in his body, he found that it would take some time. However, this little bit of time would cost him his life. He quickly took out his communicator and transmitted the situation on his side to all the powerhouses in the Void Universe. When the powerhouses in the Void Universe received the news, their faces were filled with astonishment. Not long ago, General Jing Kong was killed. Now, two of his companions were going to be killed? This meant that they were going to kill all the powerhouses in the Void Universe. This made the Void Universe's powerhouses reveal a cold, murderous intent. I've been killed. I can't enter the Six Paths Universe now. I need some time to recover. Country Duke, someone wants to kill all the Heaven Origin Creation Realm powerhouses in the Void Universe. Be careful. An hour later, the powerhouses in the Void Universe received another piece of news. Chapter 4099. when news of the death of a divine origin creation realm expert from the Void Universe came. News of the death of a second divine origin creation realm expert also came. In a short period of time, 4 divine origin creation realm experts from the Void Universe have been killed. Someone is deliberately targeting us to weaken our combat power. Damn it, who's the one who did this? We have to find out. Otherwise we'll all be in danger. That guy in the dark seems to be able to pinpoint our location. Furthermore, why are the 6 Paths Universe's Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts able to arrive so quickly? Could it be that they are working together with the 6 Paths Universe's Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts? The possibility of them working together is not high. If they did, we wouldn't have been able to escape so far. Could it be the 12 ancestral sorcerers of the 9 Origins universe? The 12 ancestral sorcerers have very strange methods and are very powerful in terms of detection. General Jing Kong was killed by the 12 ancestral sorcerers, but their methods are clearly different from the 12 ancestral sorcerers. It shouldn't be the 12 ancestral sorcerers of the 9 Origins universe. No matter what, we have to catch them. Otherwise we'll all be in danger. Let's leave the 6 Paths universe and come to the chaos to discuss countermeasures. Find that guy and kill him. The Divine Origin Creation Realm experts of the Void Universe discussed. They all had ugly expressions on their faces. Although they could be resurrected after being killed, resurrection was not that easy. However, resurrection was not that easy. The treasures required for resurrection were extremely precious in the universe. Especially that kind of resurrection treasure that could cause no damage. Among the experts in the entire Void Universe, only 1 or 2 people possessed such a treasure. As for the others, they had to pay a price after resurrection. Moreover, after resurrection, the resurrection treasure would also disappear. This was a huge weakening of their strength. Therefore, it was a huge loss for the Void Universe that the 4 Creation Realm powerhouses of the Divine Origin Realm had been killed. The remaining Divine Origin Creation Realm experts in the 6 Paths universe immediately flew towards the chaos. They had to discuss countermeasures. This time, 8 Divine Origin Creation Realm experts from the Void Universe entered the 6 Paths universe. Great General Kong Yi was unwilling to accept the fact that he had been tricked and killed once again, so he rushed over again. However, General Jing Kong and the other 2 Divine Essence Creation Realm experts did not have a powerful resurrection treasure like Kong Yi, so they were still recuperating. The 5 Celestial Yuan Creation Realm experts quickly flew towards the chaos. They're all here. One by one, the figures arrived in the primal chaos. The suppressive force from the universe on their bodies had completely disappeared. The 2 old men in the lead glanced at them and said plainly, "Duke Xinghua, they are all here." A general from the Void Universe nodded. In the Void Royal family, those who could be called great generals were all existences at the Creation of Heaven origin level. Those who could be called Country Protector Duke possessed the strength of a control-level master. Among the 5, 2 of them were State Dukes, which meant that they were both control-level Divine Origin Creation Realm powerhouses. I have an idea now. The State Duke on the right glanced at them and spoke. "Lord Xinghua, please speak." A Void Royal General said respectfully. According to the analysis of the information sent by Jing Kong Yi and the others, the one who killed our Void Universe powerhouses, even if it wasn't one of the 12 ancestral sorcerers of the 9 Essences universe, is definitely related to the 9 Essences universe. He most likely has some sort of treasure that can detect spatial energy. Furthermore, he also has a special secret magic that allows him to lock onto us. It's a wind lightning type secret magic. That reminds me of a race that our king personally killed 2 eons ago, a unique race from the 9 Essences universe. That race had wind and thunder attributes. Through the treasures they had, as well as their special bloodline and energy, they were able to restrain spatial teleportation abilities. They were very effective against the armies of the Void Universe. Our king personally found an opportunity to exterminate that race completely and sever their bloodline. This wind and thunder power is somewhat similar to the abilities of the race from 2 eons ago. The State Duke on the right spoke. His words caused the other 3 Celestial Yuan Creation Realm powerhouses to be slightly shocked. In that case, it's almost certain that those fellows from the 9 Essences universe secretly killed us? General Kong Yi said with a murderous look. It's most likely the 9 Essences universe. The State Duke on the right nodded. We just don't know if the powerhouses from the entire 9 Essences universe are taking action, or if it's just 1 or 2 of them. According to my guess, it shouldn't be all the powerhouses from the 9 Essences universe taking action. If it's all together, it's probably the 12 ancestral sorcerers. Now, we have to launch a counterattack. We have to first eliminate the guy who took action. The State Duke on the left spoke. First, we'll eliminate the guy who cast the secret technique. This time I'll personally be the bait. I have a treasure that I'm confident in eliminating and leaving behind that energy. Using that energy, we'll find the guy behind the scenes and then eliminate him. The State Duke on the right spoke with a murderous look. Lord State Duke, are you going to put yourself in danger? Won't it be dangerous? We have to be fully prepared. A great general's eyes narrowed when he heard this. We have to make some preparations. We have to set up some teleportation formations that can teleport us to the edge of the Six Paths universe. This is to prevent the Celestial Yuan Creation Realm powerhouses from joining forces with the person behind the scenes. As for the rest, I'll take care of it myself. It shouldn't be a problem. The State Duke on the right spoke confidently. All right, leave the teleportation formations to us. Lord State Duke, you guys choose the location first. A great general said. All right. The State Duke nodded. Then the group discussed for a while more before entering the Six Paths universe. At the edge of the Six Paths universe, they started to set up teleportation formations. This would ensure that they would be teleported here quickly. Once they were teleported here, they would be able to enter the primal chaos. At that time, they wouldn't have to fear the Celestial Yuan Creation Realm of the Six Paths universe. What they needed to be wary of was the Celestial Yuan Creation Realm of the Six Paths universe. Only they could annihilate all of them. The State Duke of the Void universe set the location at the water domain. According to their guess, the person behind the scenes who killed them should still be at the water domain. After the State Duke of the Void universe set up everything, he went to a tribe at the water domain and waited quietly. Wait for the rabbit. This was the only way. But they believed that the person behind the scenes would definitely continue to attack. Chapter 4100. Wang Xian did not know that he had been targeted by the experts of the Void universe. He also did not know that the experts of the Void universe had formed an alliance. In fact, Wang Xian did not even know if those guys from the Void universe that he had tricked had been killed. It's only been less than 1,000 years. Let's play with them. Wang Xian smiled. He had met 2 groups of experts from the Void universe in 1,000 years. The probability was high. The Six Paths universe was huge, but the 6 treasured lands of the water source grassland were not. Given Wang Xian's strength, he could search the entire area in a few hundred years. As for the creation treasures of Sky Origin experts, they believed that the chances of creation treasures of Sky Origin appearing in these 6 treasured lands were higher. Therefore, most of them were gathered in these 6 treasured lands. This was also the reason why Wang Xian could find the creation treasures of Sky Origin experts in the Void universe so quickly. Let's look around these 6 treasured lands while searching. It won't delay the search for creation treasures of Sky Origin too much. Wang Xian and Qilin left the tribe and traveled under the water source. They were surrounded by seawater. Occasionally they would meet some elemental beast. Wang Xian and Qilin did not kill the elemental beasts here. To them, the resources of these elemental beasts were too little. Besides, they were outsiders. It was best not to hunt the elemental beasts here. Wang Xian and Qilin wandered around the water source. The water source was divided into upper and lower regions. Overall, it was much larger than the grassland. There were also some tribes that were located at the bottom. The water was very deep. Even with Wang Xian's strength, it would take him a few days to fly up from the bottom. Will the person behind this show up? As long as he is still targeting us, he will definitely appear. The place where General Kong Yi was attacked was at the grassland, and the place where the 2 princes were attacked was not far from the edge of the water source. The mastermind shouldn't have come to our location. If he continues to target us, he will come here. Lord Country Duke, if we can lock onto the person behind this, we must kill him. Even if we can't kill him this time, we must kill him when the calamity comes. In a residence in the territory of a tribe near the water source. An old man sat there, looking at the contents of the communication device. He closed his eyes and waited quietly. They were very patient. Now, someone was watching them and wanted to mess with them. They had to get rid of the mastermind who was watching them first. Otherwise, they would be in great danger. Therefore, if they did not find the mastermind, they could not continue to search for the Heaven Origin Fortune Supreme treasure. Time passed day by day. Wang Xian and Unicorn were also strolling around the water source. When they arrived at another tribe, the spatial compass displayed another message. Wang Xian was taken aback when he saw the Heavenly Origin Realm Creation Realm expert checking the space attribute again. It's faster this time. Don't the experts in the Void universe have any contact with each other? No, they belong to the same dynasty. Wang Xian murmured in surprise. If they were attacked by the Six Paths Universe's creation realm experts, logically speaking, the experts from the Void Universe should be on their guard after being tricked one after another. But now he had found one so quickly. This surprised them. Did the Six Paths Universe's Heaven Origin creation realm experts not attack them? Or could it be that his void tracking power was quickly erased by the Six Paths Universe's experts, which prevented him from being targeted by the Six Paths Universe? Both were possible. Boss, what's wrong? Unicorn asked curiously when he saw Wang Xian deep in thought. I found another expert from the Void Universe. Wang Xian said to him. Found it again? So fast? Boss, could there be an accident or some other special situation? Unicorn asked, puzzled. Wang Xian shook his head. It's a little strange. I don't know where the problem is. Anyway, it's not a good thing. He said. The current situation was not quite right. There must be a problem somewhere. He was considering if he should continue to attack. I can attack, but I have to be prepared. Wang Xian thought to himself. Be prepared for danger. He pondered for a while and came to the teleportation formation of this tribe. Wang Xian looked around and got some information. He was ready to attack. He was ready to go to another tribe through the teleportation formation after he made his move. Then he would leave the water source quickly. As for whether he should find trouble with the experts from the Void Universe, he would have to wait and see. Wang Xian's body shook. Another ghost doppelganger appeared in a corner and quickly hid. Soon after, he found an expert at the Universe Lord realm and controlled him. He then flew towards the location that the Void Compass had locked on. When he was a few hundred kilometers away from that location, Wang Xian focused his eyes and attacked without hesitation. When the attack landed in that direction, Wang Xian sensed it. He formed a sword of wind and thunder and passed it to the expert who was being controlled. Netherworld Dragon Transformation. In the next instant, he disappeared and came to the teleportation formation. Go. Wang Xian said to Unicorn, who was not far away. He stepped into the teleportation formation and disappeared. He really made his move. At the same time, at the location where Wang Xian attacked. In that room, the country duke of the Void Universe was shrouded by the power of wind and thunder. He felt the energy falling on him. He opened his eyes and they glowed. Humph, this time I'm going to annihilate you. With a cold look in his eyes, he waved his arm and a teleportation formation appeared in front of him. He directly entered the teleportation array and disappeared. Soon he appeared at the edge of the water source. This energy is the energy of the extinct race in the Nine-Source universe. It's very difficult to deal with. Even if I want to eliminate it completely, it will take me a few hours. The country duke appeared from the Void Universe and destroyed the teleportation formation. Feeling the energy in his body, his eyes flickered. He moved his palm and a treasure that looked like a spaceship appeared in his hand. This treasure was hollow in the middle and it slowly enveloped him. Soon after, the power of wind and thunder was separated from his body. He looked at the power of wind and thunder and smiled. He stepped into a teleportation formation not far away. The target has attacked again. The energy has been obtained. Get ready to give chase and finish him off. A voice filled with murderous intent sounded at the end of the teleportation formation. Chapter 4101. Huh? Country Duke, the guy behind the scenes is making his move again? When the Country Duke from the Void Universe appeared in another region, a divine origin creation realm expert who was waiting there immediately asked with an excited look on his face when he heard this. Yes, the energy has been sealed by me. No expert can sense this energy. The Country Duke nodded. Send a message to Tianmen Duke and the rest. Ask them to come over. Yes. The Heaven Yuan creation realm expert from the Void Universe immediately responded. He immediately sent the message. Soon, figures appeared in the surrounding teleportation formations. In order to prevent the experts from the Six Paths universe from sensing them, they were all in different locations. Duke Shining, did you succeed? An old man walked over and asked the country protector Duke in the Void Universe. Yes, the energy has been sealed by me. The rest is up to you, Tianmen Duke. Duke Shining nodded. With a wave of his palm, the treasure that sealed the wind and thunder energy appeared in his hand. Tianmen Duke nodded and took out a treasure as well. My space pointer can pinpoint a target. As long as it's within the range of a universe, he can't escape, Tianmen Duke said confidently. A pointer landed in the wind and thunder energy and slowly absorbed it. Gradually, the space pointer wrapped around the wind and thunder energy pointed in a direction. Locked on? Duke Shining asked. Yes. Tianmen Duke nodded with a smile. In that case, let's start. We must destroy him completely. Duke Shining said with murderous intent. The two of them nodded. The three creation realm experts beside them also nodded with murderous intent. Let's go. They moved and immediately flew in the direction that the space pointer was pointing at. At the same time, Wang Xian was in another tribe. At this time he suddenly focused his eyes and sensed something. The wind and thunder energy that he had sent out had disappeared. He murmured and frowned slightly. Is the target too strong this time, or does he have some treasures in his hands? Treasures of this level are very likely to be in his hands. Wang Xian pondered. However, at the thought of meeting the fourth Heavenly Yuan Creation Realm expert in the Void Universe so soon, Wang Xian had a bad feeling about this. It was his luck that he had managed to find the first three Divine Origin Creation Realm experts. However, Wang Xian felt that something was fishy about the fourth place. Especially after the enemy seeking through the void he had released was broken. This was a problem, and a very big one at that. Logically speaking, the other experts in the Void Universe should have been vigilant and should have known that three Creation Realm experts in the Void Universe had been attacked in a row. However, he still managed to find one so easily at the water source. Combined with the current situation, there was a problem. The experts of the Void Universe are definitely plotting something. Did I succeed in killing those three Divine Origin Creation Realm experts? That's possible. If that's the case, they should be thinking of ways to deal with me. If they want to deal with me, how can they be sure of me? Only the power of wind and lightning that I released. I didn't leave behind any other flaws. Power of wind and lightning? Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He felt that he might be in danger. If the experts of the Void Universe really wanted to deal with him, it might not be one or two but 3 or 4 or even 4 or 5. There might even be Divine Origin Creation Realm experts among them. First of all, these are all my guesses. I have to confirm them. Wang Xian thought to himself. He looked at Qilin Bull beside him and said, Qilin Bull, enter the mother nest first. We might be targeted by the experts of the Void Universe. Qilin Bull was slightly taken aback when he heard this and revealed a surprised look. Yes, Dragon King. Qilin Bull did not ask further and entered the mother nest directly. Given Qilin Bull's strength, he could come out of the mother nest anytime he wanted. Moreover, he could sense the situation outside. After Qilin Bull entered the mother nest, Wang Xian did not escape immediately. He shook his body and ordered another nether ghost doppelganger to hide at the side of the teleportation formation. Subsequently, his real body flew out. He flew all the way to the limit of the nether ghost doppelganger in his real body. At this position, Wang Xian would need 5 minutes to fly. Even a Divine Origin Creation Realm expert with the space attribute would need 3 to 4 minutes to reach the position of Wang Xian's nether ghost doppelganger. After arriving, Wang Xian waited quietly here. Time passed day by day. In the Void Universe, Duke Shining, Duke Tianmen and the rest followed the space pointer and flew at high speed. Their speed was much faster than the other Pinnacle Sovereign Realm experts of the Void Universe. After all, the space attribute had a great advantage when it came to traveling. Bus. 10 days later, the space pointer in Duke Tianmen's hand suddenly trembled. This made him narrow his eyes. Stop, he's not far ahead. He immediately transmitted his voice and stared ahead. How far is he? Duke Shining looked at him and asked. A distance of 2 teleportations. Duke Tianmen replied. He has a treasure that can detect us. We can't get any closer. Duke Shining said, we have to surround him and don't let him escape. In that case, we will surround him and seal off the surrounding void. Duke Tianmen looked at them and said, all right, we'll disrupt the void with space energy. However, we have to be quick. The energy we're going to unleash is too strong and might attract the Divine Origin Creation Realm experts of the Six Paths universe. Duke Shining reminded. No matter how strong the guy behind the scenes is, he's still at the Pinnacle Sovereign Realm. If we attack together, we can definitely kill him quickly. The 3 Divine Origin Creation Realm experts beside him said confidently. Duke Tianmen also nodded. He's currently 2 teleportations away from us. All of you head in the other 3 directions. Listen for my signal and directly surround him. Once you encounter him, immediately erupt with your strongest attack and keep him occupied. As long as you can keep him occupied for a moment, it'll be enough. All right. Duke Shining and the rest nodded and distributed the directions. Subsequently, they immediately teleported to their surroundings and began to set up. Soon messages were sent over. Duke Tianmen pursed his lips. Do it. He bellowed and disappeared instantly. Bus. At the same time, above the water source, Wang Xian stood quietly on the water. When the 5 experts from the Void Universe surrounded him, the space symbol compass had already sent out a warning. Seeing the 5 white dots on it, Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. Chapter 4102, 5 Creation Realm Heavenly Yuan Experts. There might even be a control-level existence among them. They really want to kill me. Moreover, they have treasures in their hands that have locked onto me. Wang Xian murmured to himself as his eyes sparkled. Sensing the 5 figures approaching him at high speed, Wang Xian's figure trembled slightly before he disappeared instantly. Netherworld Dragon Transformation. In the next instant, Wang Xian's figure appeared beside the tribe's teleportation formation not far away. He stepped into the teleportation formation and teleported away immediately. He disappeared. He actually disappeared so quickly. Did he discover our encirclement? At the same time, Duke Tianmen sensed the changes in the space needle in his hand and his expression changed slightly. His expression was a little ugly as he immediately teleported to where Wang Xian was just now. Duke Tianmen, where is he? Duke Xining and the rest teleported over and did not discover Wang Xian. They were shocked. They asked in astonishment. He escaped. He discovered our arrival in advance. The treasure in his hand can detect us in advance. Duke Tianmen's expression was a little ugly. He can detect us in advance? Doesn't that mean he has already escaped by the time we can get close to him? Duke Xining frowned when he heard this and asked. Duke Tianmen nodded and his expression was also a little ugly. If this was the case, it was not a good thing for them. Because as long as they got closer, the other party would discover them. Under such circumstances, the other party would escape directly. They would never be able to lock onto the other party. He has a treasure that can detect our space attribute. Once we get close, he will also discover us. Duke Tianmen said as he glanced at the others. The treasure in his hand is very strong. It will be very difficult for us to surround him. Duke Xining shook his head. He should only be able to detect us with space attribute. He shouldn't be able to detect us with other attributes. A Creation Realm Heavenly Yuan expert from the Void Universe guessed. His words made the others raise their eyebrows slightly. If we can find another Creation Realm Heavenly Yuan expert with other attributes to help us hold back the mastermind, we might have a chance to eliminate him. The Duke of Xining revealed a pensive expression. This is one way. The more experts we can find, the better. As long as they can help us entangle the mastermind, we can quickly rush over and kill him. The eyes of the other Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts from the Void Universe sparkled. Lord Protector Dukes, do you know any experts? This is a very good idea. We can give him some rewards. A Heaven Origin Creation Realm expert asked. I have a candidate here. If we give him some compensation, he shouldn't refuse. Tianmen Duke pondered for a moment before speaking. I'm not sure. Duke Xining pondered for a moment before opening his mouth to speak. Go ahead and ask. If you can't do it on your side, I can do it on my side. According to my senses, the mastermind is only one person. Tianmen Duke said to him. All right. Duke Xining nodded. Even if they could only find one expert, as long as they could stall him for a minute, they would be able to rush over from afar. Moreover, they completely surrounded him. Duke Tianmen immediately took out the communication stone plate and made some contacts. Many Heaven Origin Creation Realm experts had some form of contact with each other. Most of them were used to trade some items. Under normal circumstances, few experts would be willing to do such a thing. However, Tianmen Duke was confident that he could get a Heaven Origin Creation Realm expert over. He agreed. We need to give him some rewards for an expert from the Yin-Yang universe. Soon Tianmen Duke received the news. He looked at the crowd and said, a Darkness Origin Creation Realm expert from the Yin-Yang universe. He has just entered the realm. In the Six Paths universe, we are all suppressed to the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for the Darkness Origin Creation Realm expert to stall the mastermind for a few minutes. All right. Duke Xining and the rest nodded. We'll split his rewards equally. Also, we must get rid of that guy. In that case, let's prepare for the next attack. The few of them nodded and continued to plan for the second attack. Seems like my initial trap was successful. Otherwise, the Void Universe wouldn't have sent 5 experts to encircle me. Wang Xian arrived at another tribe near the water source through the teleportation formation with a smile on his face. He wasn't angry because he had been encircled. Instead, this was a good piece of news to him. Moreover, he could be said to have escaped perfectly from the encirclement of the Void Universe this time. The 12 Sorcerer Ancestors' spatial compasses could detect the experts from the Void Universe before they arrived. Although they had treasures that could lock onto him, Wang Xian also had treasures that could detect them in advance. Therefore, from this point of view, he was safe. He didn't have to worry about the attacks and encirclement of the void universe at all. However, I still have to be careful. Wang Xian murmured, now that the void universe is vigilant and counterattacking, I can't continue to trap and kill the experts from the void universe. This is good too, I can continue to look for traces of the heaven origin creation realm treasure. As he spoke, he flew in a direction. Wang Xian didn't release the unicorn or use the 5 elements grindstone. These were all trump cards to be used. In the face of the powerful void universe, Wang Xian still had to be careful even if he had avoided their attack. After all, this was the powerful void universe. Flying forward quickly, Wang Xian began to wander around the water source. Time passed quickly again. Dozens of years had passed and it had been peaceful. However, Wang Xian felt helpless about the fact that there was still no news about the heaven origin creation realm treasure. Everyone from the void universe, In the chaotic space beside the 6 paths universe, 5 figures were floating there. At this time, a figure shrouded in darkness suddenly appeared and greeted them with a smile. Light Shadow, you're fast. Tianmen Duke looked at the figure and said with a smile. It's just around here. There's a heaven origin creation realm treasure in the 6 paths universe. I want to come and take a look too. The dark figure called Light Shadow smiled and said, help us deal with that guy first. Tianmen Duke said to him, no problem. Even if he's a control-level existence, his strength will be greatly reduced in the 6 paths universe. It won't be a problem if we can delay him for a minute. If he's a beginner-level existence, it'll be even easier. Light Shadow said confidently. Chapter 4103. Upon entering the 6 paths universe, the strength of the creation realm experts would be greatly reduced. All of them would be reduced to below the creation realm. There was a huge gap between the beginner level and the control level. However, under the suppression of the universe, this gap was not as huge as before. When a beginner-level expert was suppressed when fighting against a control-level expert, it was still possible for him to hold on for more than 10 days. After all, when the energy was suppressed, the damage would also be reduced. Therefore, the Light Shadow was confident that it could restrain a creation realm expert. Alright. In that case, let's do it. Tianmen Duke nodded with a smile and gestured to the Light Shadow. The group stepped into the teleportation formation again. When they entered, they took out the space pointer and flew in a direction. Light Shadow, take this space pointer. It can guide you to the location of the target. We will follow you from behind. When the space pointer has all the information, inform us immediately and restrain the target that the space pointer is pointing at. We will rush over immediately. Tianmen Duke instructed the Light Shadow. No problem. The Light Shadow nodded, took over the space pointer, and flew in the direction it was pointing at. This was because they were directly teleported to the edge of the water source. Therefore, after the Light Shadow had flown for half a year, the space pointer received some information. The target is very close. The space pointer has already reacted. I will rush over immediately and restrain him. The Light Shadow saw the information on the space pointer and immediately reported to Tianmen Duke. Alright, be careful. Tianmen Duke and the rest immediately replied. This job is really easy. Just restrain a guy and we can reap great rewards. Moreover, it's very easy to restrain a person. We don't have to do it ourselves. The Light Shadow revealed a faint smile. He looked at the line of defense that the space pointer was pointing at, kept it, and flew over quickly. He hid his figure and pretended to know nothing as he flew. Soon he saw Wang Xian's figure in his sight. At the same time, he sensed that Wang Xian was an outsider who did not belong to the 6 paths universe. It should be him, a creation realm expert. The Light Shadow thought to himself as he looked at Wang Xian. With a slight movement of his palm, he sent out a message. From the power emanating from his body, it's obvious that he has just entered the divine origin realm. 5 experts from the void universe actually need my help to kill a divine origin creation realm expert? He must have some kind of spatial detection treasure, The silhouette's eyes flickered as he snickered in his heart. At this time, Wang Xian, who was in front, also noticed the arrival of the light figure. At this moment he also discovered the strength of the silhouette. Darkness attribute. Heaven origin creation realm experts. Just like him, he came from another universe. Wang Xian squinted his eyes when he saw him sizing him up. Then, without saying anything, he turned around and prepared to leave. After he arrived at the 6 paths universe, he had already met 2 or 3 other heaven origin fortune realm experts. Both sides basically left without saying a word. This time Wang Xian had no intention of dealing with him. Friend, wait a minute, are you a wood attribute expert? At this moment, Wang Xian unleashed the power of the wood attribute in his true dragon form. If they didn't fight, even a divine origin creation realm expert wouldn't be able to sense it. He spoke to Wang Xian. What's the matter? Wang Xian was surprised to see a foreign creation realm expert at the sky origin realm suddenly greeting him. He looked over and asked, Nothing much. It just so happens that I have a wood attribute treasure with me. Are you interested in making a deal? The silhouette asked Wang Xian with a smile. He revealed what he thought was a friendly expression. When Wang Xian heard this, he was shocked. A deal? He wanted to make a deal when he met him? This made him a little doubtful. Buzz. At this moment he felt the space compass in his mother nest vibrating slightly. There was a sign on it. When he sensed it, his eyes narrowed and his mind changed. He looked at the dark attribute divine origin creation realm expert in front of him and his heart turned cold. Hundreds of thoughts flashed across his mind. He moved his palm and took out the Tai Chi dragon plate. Oh, you have a wood attribute treasure with you? In that case we can make a deal. I do have a special treasure with me. This treasure is very special. It combines light and darkness attributes and its power can reach the pinnacle of the universe Lord realm. It's considered a rare treasure. You should be able to use it. If you have a treasure with you, why don't we make a deal? As Wang Xian spoke, he took out the Tai Chi dragon plate and flew towards the silhouette. The distance between them wasn't very far. Now that Wang Xian flew over, the distance between them was even closer. This treasure? The silhouette looked at the Tai Chi dragon plate in Wang Xian's hand and was shocked. Their yin-yang universe only had light and darkness attributes. This Tai Chi dragon plate gave him a very special feeling. A perfect fusion of light and darkness. Their yin-yang universe also had such treasures. However, this was the first time they had such a powerful one. To him this was a rare treasure. It's indeed a good treasure. I want it. The silhouette squinted his eyes and said to Wang Xian. This treasure, he wanted it. This could be considered an unexpected gain. He laughed in his heart. I wonder what kind of wood attribute treasure this brother has. Wang Xian heard him, smiled and continued to move closer to him. The distance between them was only about 10,000 meters. This distance was already very close. Brother, rest assured. My treasure is definitely not any worse than yours. Seeing Wang Xian approaching, the silhouette didn't notice anything. Instead, the smile on his face deepened. There was only Wang Xian here. At such a close distance, he could better restrain the silhouette. Once he could restrain the silhouette, the experts from the Void Universe wouldn't say anything when he took the treasure away. Go. However, before he could finish his sentence, Wang Xian let out a low roar. In an instant he appeared in front of the silhouette. At the same time, the unicorn in the mother's nest also charged out. The 5 elements grindstone also attacked rapidly. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. The silhouette was too close to Wang Xian. He wanted to restrain Wang Xian, but he didn't know that Wang Xian already knew his intention. That you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.